There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new Integra. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Mic checks echo, I'm the sound of the brawl. Canvas creaks, flesh slaps, bodies rise and fall. Steel cage dreams, no escape. All pain, blood stains mixed with the sweat and the chain. Adrenaline surging my veins, spit fire. Crowd chants feeding my soul's desire. Turnbuckles tremble when my wrath collides. Glory's the belt and I'm taking the pride. Ooh, the squared circle where legends collide. Ooh, no mercy, just a wild ride. Ooh, lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. Pyros ignite, shadows dance in the glow. Ringside roar, it's a gladiator show. Chokeholds tighter than the grip of the night. Climbing the ropes to new championship heights. The mental battlefield, no room for doubt. Every move calculated, every scream a shout. The bell tolls louder than a sinner's regret. This is the place where the bold never forget. Boom, the squared circle where legends collide. Boom, no mercy, just a wild ride. Boom, lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. Boom, the squared circle where legends collide. Boom, no mercy, just a wild ride. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom, the squared circle digest. Boom, the squared circle digest.
Is Tuesday, 8 p, and this is the place to be. It is the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley. That is the great Frankie Fresco, and together we're going to talk to you about some wrestling and some wrestling. And Frankie, how's it been, man? You been good?
I've been good, man. I missed you last week. Shout out to Sammy though for subbing in. But I did improve my wall, and if you take a look at my side right here, I think you recognize this person right there.
I see it. There it is. Nice, nice. Oh, it brings a tear to my eye, man. Brings a tear to my eye.
Of course, you got to make it to the wall, bro. The wall of fame right there.
It is. And speaking of the wall, the GOAT last night. What were your thoughts on? We'll jump into that one first because that's kind of been the big topic today. John Cena returns to Boston, and everybody kind of thought he was going to take on Dom at Survivor Series, or at least that's kind of the way, if you listen and read the dirt sheets and things we're saying. Happened a little earlier, happened in Boston. John Cena finally becomes a Grand Slam champion. It's kind of old man. Thanks for joining us, 20 years after some things like that. Your thoughts overall. What did you think?
Well, I kind of read the dirt sheets before Monday played out, so the word on the street was that Dom was gonna come out and that John Cena was gonna beat him. So I kind of knew this was happening. Do I agree with it? I feel that it's the right call only if they're able to run it back in Survivor Series.
I don't think Dom needs the Intercontinental title anymore. I don't, man. I understand everybody's like, oh, this stops his run. But to me, it solidifies the other angle that they're really trying to hammer home, which is him breaking away from the Judgment Day.
That, or they just wanted to give John Cena the IC belt. That way they could say that he has had.
Oh, no,
been able to
that
hold
was going to
on.
happen regardless. Even if he fought him at Survivor Series, it was going to be the Cena's belt. I mean, he's going to be a Grand Slam champion. There's no way John Cena retires the GOAT and he's not a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Grand Slam champion and good for him, but I could ask you the same question. Does he really need the belt?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Dom doesn't need a belt. I thought they worked it out as well as you could with Dom putting his foot in his mouth again and then him having no backup. There's no El Grande Americanos. There's no Judgment Day. It's just Dom having to fend for himself, put his foot in his mouth. He's like, oh man, I actually took some notes on it and I don't know what I did with the book. Hold on. Here it is. I found it. Sorry. Because I want to make sure I do this right. Dom said, what did he say? In any era, any time, I could kick John Cena's ass. And then Cena said, maybe on any other night, but not here. Wrong time, wrong place, wrong guy. And then Triple H, of course, made the match. And look, I thought it was a pretty damn good match, honestly, man. It was an older school style Rand match, a little slower. Dom doing all the cheating stuff. They did the ode to Eddie Guerrero. And Dom hits the finish, and Cena rolls through. True Bostonian, power. And AA, new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion.
I do feel this is gonna hurt Dom if they do not go ahead and run it back.
Man. No, why? What? How? Let me hear your reason how it hurts Dom. How?
Well,
Did it hurt Cody when Cody lost?
Cody was already a big figure.
Did it hurt Logan Paul when Logan Paul lost? Does it hurt?
Nobody cares about Logan Paul.
Okay. Right.
When it comes to Dom Mysterio, it hurts him because he was on that run. And on the contrary to what you say, you said that he doesn't need the belt. I feel that Dom does need the belt. I think that's the reason.
Then Dom isn't the guy you think he is if he needs the belt. That's why I'm saying I think I am on your side as far as what Dom has become quicker than I thought he would. And to me, that's why he doesn't need the belt. The belt is no longer needed for Dom. Dom can carry himself.
Yeah, he could care for himself, but I feel like what could happen is similar to what happened to Gunther. Gunther had that hell of a run with the IC belt, and then he kind of fell off a little bit. Then he got the other belt, and it just wasn't the same. And ever since then, since he's lost that belt, he never was the same. Now they're trying to bring him back. I don't know if he's going to be the one who's going to win this tournament for the John Cena last fight, but Gunther just doesn't seem like the same guy as he was before. I know he had the Goldberg fight and everything, but it wasn't the same.
The problem with Gunther was his angle was the title. Dom's got other stuff going on. He's got the whole things with him in AAA. He's got the Judgment Day.
Well, I think he's going to lose the AAA belt. That's the next thing he's going to lose.
There's other things to do. I mean, there's other things for him to do where it, to me, it doesn't, it does not take away from him. If anything, look, man, he was almost, you could say he was strapped down because of the title. Now he's free to do whatever.
I don't think he was strapped down because of the title. I think it elevated him. I always said
It
that I
elevated
felt
him when he got it and he performed and he did above expectations. But I think it was time for him to drop the belt, which he did. And again, I think this Raw or at Survivor Series, if he did a Survivor Series, then there's no chance for him to recapture it. If you think that's the way it's going to go. I personally think it's going to be Ray versus Dom in San Diego, their hometown. That's the match I think it's heading toward. I don't think Cena versus Dom is the Intercontinental matchup at Survivor Series. That's just my feeling on it.
for me is if they rely heavily back on Ray versus Dom, I think they are dragging something that we were already past. This is not something that we want to see. We've seen it already before. We know that Dom has elevated himself to be relevant without needing the help of his dad. And for them to bring him that storyline back, if that's the case, then for me it's kind of
Well, I'm
whack.
not saying that it's a storyline, but what if, again, Ray sends out the thing after he loses, the LOL about the whole thing. Dom's mad. Dom said he interrupted because he was going to Triple H about his dad interrupting his celebration. What if it comes down to where Ray's got one match left in him and he wants it to be Dom that takes him out?
Well, if Ray only has one match in him, I would feel that he would announce that. I would feel similar to what John Cena did because of his legacy. And I would assume that Ray would probably try to do something similar to what AJ Styles, to what John Cena, which all these guys are
Maybe
trying to
Ray
do.
can't because of his health. He's got one match left.
Well, then he would have to announce it if he
And
does
he wants
say
it to
that.
be Dom. Why? Working into the angle. Dom, you don't want to fight me? Well, if you've beat me, then I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah, you could do that. I just don't find it interesting. To me, to be real honest with you, like I said, I think, and again, I respect your opinion. I think the only reason why I felt like it hurt Dom is because the storyline that I kind of thought they were gonna go with was him taking over completely the Judgment Day and kind of betraying Finn Balor and eventually being Finn Balor versus Dom. But it doesn't look like it's gonna go that way for the IC belt. I don't even know if it's gonna go that way at all, because we don't know where they stand, and maybe they do completely get Dom out of the group. But if they take out Dom out of the group, then, or if Dom decides to go on his own, then that Judgment Day kind of is irrelevant because he's been the one who's kind of been holding it down since Liv Morgan went out. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like, go ahead.
no, I'm gonna say, how about this though? Because I think it's gonna come down to Roxanne. Roxanne keeps trying to break away, right? What if Roxanne and Raquel are kind of beaten down on Dom? Like the Judgment Day jumps them. Raquel, whatever. Here comes Liv for the save. So you still have Liv and Dom, and then you start making however you want to go about it. You could end up having it could be a little Finn and Roxanne versus Div, Dom and Liv. I could hook up for a couple of those matches.
And again, you have that option if you want to go that route. For me, I just preferred him to be the ruler of the Judgment Day and run the Judgment Day. That was my route. That was kind of the storyline that I kind of thought they were gonna go
Yeah.
with, but they didn't. They haven't, and it looks like what you said. Because after the fight, after the show, he did come out on Twitter saying where the hell was his whole family and all that stuff. So it can be the beginning of the end of Dom being with the Judgment Day. Or, maybe like you said, they split and they make a different group. I don't know. It just depends. But at the
Yeah,
end of the day,
the only reason I think that too, though, is the fact that you've got JD and Dom. JD and Finn are together. They're hooked. Unless they do a whole switch and JD flips on Finn, and then Dom could become the leader of the Judgment Day. That's the only reason I say Dom doesn't, because to me, it feels like Finn and JD are going to stay there as far as like the Judgment Day goes. And I can kind of feel like Raquel's kind of leaning more toward them than Dom, at least currently on the TV, what it's showing.
Yeah, and no shout out to Steven Gonzalez or Josh. I know you guys are like saying, "Oh, thank God Sean is back." I mean, was I that bad? Jesus Christ! But
I thought you did great, man. I
well, I
applaud you.
appreciate it. I guess I got you are supporting me. I guess Steven and Josh are like, screw you, Frankie. But it's all good. It's all love.
I think they just love hearing my my voice every Wednesday or Tuesday or Thursday or Friday, whatever day it is.
I think they like
that
you.
we jump on
They
here.
love your voice better than mine.
They
And,
do.
and he goes, Frankie, you seem a little bit down, tired, man. I've been working my ass off, dude, doing a lot of stuff. I DJ'd this morning, then I had to go do my 9 to 5 job as well. I had a call, and now I'm doing the podcast show. So I'm just tired, but I'm still going. We're gonna talk wrestling here, so I gotta keep going. Um, when it comes to this whole situation, like I said, I feel like the belt doesn't give it an extra incentive when it comes to the final match with John Cena. What I do feel will happen is if John Cena some way somehow still has the belt on that Saturday night main event, I think the right thing to do technically would be for him to win, retire as the IC belt, and then just do another stupid tournament and then just open it up for everybody to try to get that IC belt, because it would make no sense for John Cena to win the belt and then lose it, after 2 live premium events. I don't see it. The only way I would see him losing it would be if he really wants to get Dom to the next level, and which I would love to do. That I would agree if he did that. If he went ahead, 2 things that they could do to save Dom from this
No,
WWE
Dom's
mistake.
not beating Cena. Man.
Either you
Dom's
put
not
Dom
beating Cena.
against Cena at Survivor Series, and then Dom wins, and then they leave Dom and John Cena alone, and then they don't do anything about that. John Cena goes and fights the winner of the tournament. Or number 2, Dom wins the tournament and he beats him on Saturday night main event, and then he retains the belt, and John Cena helps him elevate to the next level, to the point where he could be the leader of the Judgment Day. Yes,
Unless he's one of the surprises or the last 4 to go in, I don't think Dom should beat Cena. Like I don't think he needs to. I disagree that you think he's lost something because he lost to the greatest of all time. Like
let's put an asterisk on that.
I don't feel like it's that much of a knockdown for him and what he's been doing. If anything, I think it solidifies what he's become in WWE. The fact that the crowd did the pop it did because Dom got pinned by John Cena. Like, I mean, and when Dom was about to hit the frog splash, you could hear a little bit of the, oh no, you could hear the crowd like, what? And then you saw the roll through, and then they popped even louder. So I think you had the crowd where you wanted them for that finish. And I
think the crowd went crazy because it was Boston and it was John Cena's crowd. That's what I mean. He could have been pinning Rusev for all I care. I think they would have still given him a wild ovation, especially since it was for an IC belt.
Yeah, Cena would have got the ovation. But when Dom hit the frog splash the way he did, you could hear for a minute until Cena did the roll through. The crowd had bought in that, oh, maybe this is it.
That's another thing. They made Dom weak, bro, because when he went ahead and he did, I believe he did the 619 and then he did the frog splash, and then Cena just gets up like if nothing had happened to him.
He's done that to people before, bro.
That was a disrespect.
Like everybody's got
Dom.
such recency bias. Like, oh, Cena bro, he's done that to people many times.
Yeah, he did it to the IC champion. The disrespect.
Oh, good.
So then next time Dom does the frog splash to somebody, he needs to do it multiple times in order to pin the person down or pin at least John Cena.
This. You guys are such recency bias. Such recency bias, bro. It's like, oh my God, Cena's been doing this move many a moons. And the fact that, oh my goodness, I didn't have to do 62 super kicks to stay down. Like, yeah, sometimes, he said, in Boston, I'm invincible. You chose
apparently
the wrong place, the wrong time, and the wrong guy.
Well, he said he meant it, right?
That's what we got.
again, man, that bias stuff, good for Cena, I guess. I like I said, I hope Dom gets a rematch, whether it's a Survivor Series or he wins the tournament, and then he gets over. I, I appreciate everything that John Cena did. Fine and dandy. I don't need to see John Cena win. Goldberg didn't win. Gunther won. So if Gunther was able to win over Goldberg and Goldberg retired, I don't see why John Cena can't go ahead and take an
It
L as
wasn't John
well.
Cena's last match, jackass.
No, I'm saying for the tournament. That way, when he goes against Dom in the tournament, Dom wins the tournament, and then he
Gunther,
goes in.
if they do it, it makes sense to have Gunther do it because Gunther put Goldberg out.
No,
Hey, he's the new legend killer. Well, a legend in Goldberg.
he took one guy out. How can you call him a legend killer? There's only one guy.
Well, yeah, I know John Cena. Yeah, he beat Goldberg, but that's not really a legend. You're right. You're right. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Right. He's only taking out one. If he does this, he'll have only taken out one legend. Yes.
Yeah, if he takes out Cena, then he could start racking up those as well. Maybe
Well, yeah,
then
that's what I'm
maybe
saying,
then he'll
but,
take Rey
like,
Mysterio next or something after that.
If I like the matchup that they gave him against Javon Evans because I feel like he's going to be able to throw Javon around and you're going to see some crazy stuff. And I've heard that, I think they had one match on the Independents a long time ago, possibly, or somewhere, I think they said, but I think that's a great matchup, man. Two way crazy styles that, again, I don't know why they're doing this whole thing about, tune in and find out who the
That's pretty stupid.
person is going to take on Solo. And then they did the same thing on SmackDown. Just tell us who the freaking people are.
Yeah, that's the route you went. Just tell us.
There's no need to be you already said it's a 12-man tournament. So what? It's going, it's Joe Hendry's music hits or what is the surprise isn't going to be Adam Copeland or somebody like that.
Well,
and then if it is, again, as I said before, you're going to have Copeland or Jericho. I know you said that too.
Yeah.
You're going to have them have to win 3 matches to face John Cena?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
I mean, it's possible. It's entertaining, but I do agree with you. They need to stop sugarcoating and trying to act a surprise because Pierce did the exact same thing that they did on SmackDown. He said, I'll let you guys know, we'll tune in next week. Come on, man. No need for that crap. But
Exactly.
when it comes to the fight that you said between Javon Evans and Gunther, I like the two styles. The only thing that I don't agree with this match, because I feel like Javon is not going to win. We know that. So all we're going to expect from that fight is Javon Evans to fly everywhere, but he probably is not going to connect on anything or maybe one or two things, but it's going to be Gunther. It'll be shock. I think everybody will be shocked if Javon is able to pull the upset. That's the only reason that if he wins, that would be the only reason I would say, okay, they did the right thing by putting them first in that first round. But if not, I think it was a waste of time. I would have liked to have seen, I like to see matches where it could go either way, right? You saw what happened with the matches that they had yet on Monday night. They could have gone either way. Even though Shinsuke wasn't doing the greatest, but still Shinsuke always gets a pop because Shinsuke.
Yeah, but the thing is, everybody thinks Javon's going to lose because everybody thinks Gunther's going to be the one facing Cena.
Yeah.
But what if they flip it?
Then it would make sense that they went ahead with that fight in the first round. But if they don't, then it was exactly what we were predicting.
Because to be honest now, I get that this is the battle for his final opponent. Won't Cena need an opponent at SummerSlam now?
He will. That's why I'm a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
That.
And by the way, Josh, thank you, sir. Red, white, and blue, baby. Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, definitely Veterans Day for Sean, especially Sean, of course. Actually, my event this morning was for Veterans Day as well. So
awesome.
Shout out to all the veterans out there.
Yep.
And don't forget to hit the like and don't forget to hit the subscribe. You guys on X, go ahead and go to YouTube and hit us a like. We would appreciate it, especially since Sean is back. So when it comes to this whole, Gunther and all that stuff, like I said, if it's an upset, it makes sense. If it's not an upset, then it was what we all predicted. Predictable storytelling. Hey, he's going to win no matter what. So if you're happy with that, Sean, then I guess.
It is, look, If it does go and it at least tells a good story, I'll be happy, man.
And what you mentioned about Survivor Series, it would only make this is the only reason why I say Dom should either get a fight at Survivor Series or get a fight at the Saturday Night Main Event, because if he beats John Cena at Survivor Series, he retains the belt, the IC belt. John Cena won the belt at his hometown in Boston and all that crap. And then it's not going to hurt John Cena to win the last match on that Saturday Night Main Event, right? Because now, he could win. He doesn't have to take an L for that one. But if they're not gonna do that, if they're not gonna run it at Survivor Series with Dom, then I'm curious to see who they would put against John Cena. Because John Cena is he confirmed that he is fighting at Survivor Series?
They said his appearances are two Raws, SmackDown, Saturday Night Main Event. He just did the one in Boston. He's at the next one, which they apparently last night said he's wrestling for the final time, which before it was just appearing for the final time. So apparently he's wrestling next week as well. And they haven't really said wrestling at Survivor Series, but those are his last appearances. So,
all right, maybe. I mean,
again, I don't know if there's something to the wording or if they're all going to be wrestling appearances. I just don't want to read into it too much. And then, to me, like, the way Cena is and the way he is about the business, like, the only match I think he wins, if it's his final match, is against Lesnar. Everybody else, I think he loses to, so that elevates or pushes whatever going to the future. Like, that's...
Okay, now let me ask you this. Does that mean John Cena should enter to that Saturday Night Main Event as the IC champion?
I mean, my understanding, and again, this is going by all the dirt sheets, he wants all the matches to be like a lot of NXT people getting the rub on that Saturday Night Main Event. Again, him looking at the future. So if he goes in as Intercontinental Champion, then he loses, I think. And I don't think he leaves as the Intercontinental Champion.
Should he enter Saturday Night Main Event as the IC champion?
I don't think he needs to.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say, he doesn't need the IC belt. Just to me, the same way Dom didn't need the IC belt now. Like before, it helped him. It was there. But now, Dom has become more than I thought he was ever going to become so soon. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I knew he was going to be good in the future, but I didn't see the thing like rocketing up like he did. And kudos to him for just seeing something that's working and being like, okay, let's do it. Let's roll with it. And it worked. So.
Yeah, that's true. Again, we'll just have to wait and see what ends up happening with the IC belt with John Cena. And then obviously if Dom can bounce back after taking an L for no apparent reason.
Yeah. And then also let's go about another title that changed hands, the women's tag team titles. The Kabuki Warriors beat Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. You had Lash Legend and Nia Jax interfere. Then they had Rhea and Io come out, and we get War Games. And then also they announced a 6-man War Games for the men. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I don't know if they're going to add to it on SmackDown or if it's going to be 3-on-3. Like, I don't know which way they're going with that. But your thought on the War Game matches, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Cody against the Vision of Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker. And then, of course, the 4-on-4 with Lash Legend, Nia Jax, the Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte, Alexa, Rhea, and Io.
Survivor Series is only 2 weeks away, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yes.
When it comes to the guys, they need to find some more people, dude. I think 3-on-3 kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, yeah.
So they're either going to have to figure something out on SmackDown or they're going to have to figure something out quickly at Monday Night Raw to add some more, bad people and good heels and babies in order to make that fight, that War Games legitimate. Because if they leave it 3-on-3 out, it's going to be lackluster in my opinion. As far as the women is concerned, I didn't know Rhea Ripley was still suffering injuries from her nose. I know she had busted it up a couple of weeks ago, but nice to see her back. I think that was a cool little wrinkle. was a little bit upset that the Kabuki Warriors took the belts from Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I thought that was kind of I don't think it was needed. I honestly thought the belts were going to change hand once Nia Jax and Lash Legend were going to go after them. But I guess it worked out because they were able to set up war games. At this time, I think I'm more excited about the women's war games than the guys, to be honest with you. Just because
Yeah.
there's more women in that match than the guys. And now I gotta wait and see who they decide to add on the guy side if they do. But if not, then if it's 3-on-3, it's
Yeah, it's
gonna suck.
pretty. I don't even like the 4-on-4. I'm not gonna lie. I always like 5-on-5. War games 5-on-5, and then let's go Survivor Series style. Let's make this work. But I found it interesting because I feel like this kind of showed me that WWE is very aware of the lack of competition for Jade on SmackDown. That I feel like they took the titles off of them. So now you've added 2 competitors after, of course, the Survivor Series. So now you have 2 opponents for Jade, fresh opponents, and now you got the tag titles off of them. So I feel like that was the reason that move
Well,
was made.
they probably can make Stephanie Valkyrie and this girl, since she turned heel now,
Yeah,
apparently.
Nikki Bella.
Bella, and add them into the war games. I think that would be pretty nice. It was kind of cool that we saw Nikki Bella's dark side come out. So
Yeah, I thought she was her best version of her character was when she was a heel.
yeah,
Before, like I thought, because like Brie comes off as a baby.
she does.
She comes off as a heel. Her whole, like, just everything, her walk, everything to me comes off as a heel, mightier than thou type, with Nikki Bella. It feels forced when she's trying to be nice. It feels forced.
But we kind of saw that might have been coming, right? Because she was just
Yeah.
being too nice to Stephanie
Yeah.
Valkyrie for
I
such a
even
long time.
wrote it in the notes. They hugged each other and I said, turn coming. And I said, oh, turn here.
Yeah,
As soon as she hugged her, she turned around, grabbed the belt and hit her. I was like, oh, turn's coming soon. And then boom, turns here. I was like, wow, that was.
Yeah. So I think in the women's side, you need to add Nikki Bella to the heels.
Yeah, that could
and then
be
add
something.
Stephanie Valkyrie to the babies. And then there you go. You got your women set up. When it comes to the guys, I don't know. Unless you want to bring Roman back, I guess Roman would be an option. But
I mean, it'd be what, Roman, Jimmy, and then throw in Solo and
the thing
somebody
is,
else.
who other guys do they have out there? Because Braun Breaker, and Logan Paul. Who's good friends with Logan Paul? Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody's good friends with Logan Paul.
Appreciate you, Jeff from Long Island. Appreciate you, buddy.
Hey Jeff, what's up, man? And when it comes to Paul Heyman's guys, who is Paul Heyman? I mean, no, because Jimmy, the only one that I was thinking was Jay, because that run-in that they had, I think it was on SmackDown or last week Monday Night Raw, I don't recall. But I don't know who he could, unless you bring Brock Lesnar. You could bring Brock Lesnar. That would be an option for the heels.
And remember, it was supposed to be Lesnar and Theory were the 2 people that were added to the Vision before. And then it was Roman and Jimmy. But I don't know what they're going to do, honestly. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they got to add something more to this.
No, and I feel too that if you kind of add Brock Lesnar, he's kind of like Braun Breaker too, right? Like both of them are kind of similar. So I think it kind of hurts Braun Breaker in my opinion. So.
Well, everybody's going to want Lesnar to rip the damn doors off the cage and come in swinging and hitting people with it and just be ogre.
Unless they do something wild and you all of a sudden you get Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar do the spear at each other, and now all of a sudden they lose, Paul Heyman's guys loses, and then all of a sudden you could create a feud between Brock Lesnar and Braun Breaker. And go from there. So that would be interesting if they did something like that, because they have obviously the spear helping each other out.
The funny thing is, the more I look at it, man, I'm starting to go toward your way of what you said before with Jey Uso. I keep watching him, and he looks down at the belts every time. Last night it was Cody's belt on the ground. He's looking at it. It was CM Punk's belt. Like I feel like something's a little egg is being planted there for something, and what better way to get locked in a Survivor Series cage, nobody can go, and then do the turn then. And now you've got Roman, who he's been, kind of feuding with. You've got CM Punk stuck in there, and you can stick it to Cody too. Like, you've got all your, those people that you could have stuck in a cage with your guys if he joins Division, beating them down. Like, it almost sets up to where, like, that would be a call. Now, whether they do it or not, I don't know, but you keep seeing him look down. Like, even when they announced the match, he didn't look as happy as CM Punk and Cody, it was kind of like reserved, like, okay, all right, we're great. We're going to the War Games. Okay. And I loved Regal coming out and doing it. That was a touch.
The other thing the other thing that they could do with Heyman is if you don't want to see Chris Jericho on that tournament, you bring Chris Jericho for this War Games, because if I'm not mistaken, Chris Jericho and Paul Heyman have some type of relationship over there from ECW, if I'm not mistaken. So he could probably ask Chris Jericho for a favor, and all of a sudden now he'll be part of the War Games. That could be a possibility if you go that route as well, to add more people, at least one more person into.
Maybe, but I don't know if I want to see Jericho in another.
Did you see Jericho physique? I mean, no homo, but
guts in the thing. It was just like.
But did you see that picture he posted? Like, no homo, but he posted of how he's ripped now, and
he's shredded down. I mean, yeah, you got to get. They're not gonna they're not gonna let you do what you did over there, bro. That's not gonna happen. So
can't eat burgers and fries, my friend.
Nope. You have to look good for TV. Yeah. You want to get into this Drew thing before we go a little bit further in?
Yeah, so funny enough, I wrote this down because shout out to Adrian. I know he is not on a chat board, but
yeah, they got their show going on today too at the same time.
Yeah, so
we're in competition with Finn's TV.
Oh, fancy. Shout out to Sammy as well.
Yes, yep.
So they got Will Mansell over there too. I just saw. Yeah. So what happened here is he mentioned in the Rainy Day podcast, I believe over the weekend, that who was it? I think he was saying that LA Knight or Jey Uso, one of them, were the ones that lost the most times out of anybody. So I said no, it's gonna be Drew McIntyre. So I went ahead and started looking up Drew McIntyre history since I believe the last 5 years. So since 2020 all the way up to today, I've been looking at his main matches, and bro, did I come up with a list, a huge a 6 list of Drew McIntyre matches that went the wrong way for him. So what I went ahead and showed Sean was like, hey, let's go ahead and rank which one of the 6 from 6 all the way to up to number 1, what was like the biggest impact one that affected him the most, in my opinion. So I gave him a list. I hope he studied it, or at least he's looking at it right now and trying to determine which one it is. So what I'm going to tell you guys is I'm going to remind you, we're going to go back in time to some of these matches, and then you guys can go ahead and also put your list together, and we'll start from the bottom and work our way to the top. And then, of course, if we need to adjust them, we could do something. So I'll name one, and then we could rank it, right? Me and Sean, we could do either you do it with me, we'll match together, or we could just put it on our own where we would rank it, right? So from 1 through 6. So the first match I'm going to bring you back was the most recent one, and that was, of course, Saturday night's main event. This one just happened. Cody Rhodes, of course, Drew McIntyre running it back, Drew bringing in the championship belt, and Cody Rhodes being dirty. I guess his possible turn, like Sean's been preaching that he wants him to do, using the belt on a DDT, and then eventually being able to do crossroads on Drew McIntyre. Of course, Drew McIntyre loses. Sir, from 1 through 6, 6 being the worst, 1 being the most epic, Drew McIntyre loss. Where do you have that one ranked to begin with? And of course, you could shift it. Of course, we're going to be shifting them around. So to begin with, where would you rank this from 6 to 1?
I'll put that one at 6.
Okay, so you're going to put that one on 6. I'm going to put here Saturday Night Main Event. 2025 is for you, and I'm gonna put it on 5th. I think I think there's gonna be worse ones than that one. I don't think that's gonna be like the worst one out of all of them, but we could be wrong, or I could be wrong. The next one after that, I'm gonna throw in there, and I'm throwing them randomly, Sean. Let's go back to let's do Clash of the Champions 2024, and this was Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre fighting. And then all of a sudden, Punk does the crazy event where he actually comes in and he is the surprise referee. So if you guys turn back the hand of time here, this was the one where Priest and Drew McIntyre are going at it. They knock out the referee. All of a sudden, the camera angle shows a referee jump inside the ring. You see him go 1, 2, and then all of a sudden, you don't see a 3, and Drew McIntyre seems kind of dumbfounded, like, what the hell's going on? And the camera shows, and it's CM Punk dressed in a referee outfit, showing the number 2. Sir, in your opinion, where would you rank that Clash of the Champions 2024?
3.
Damn. Okay. So Clash of Champions 3. I'm gonna put CM Punk ref. That way I can remember. For me, I might be overthrowing this one. I might be going over, but I'm gonna put that one as number 1 right now. I think that was one of the most epic moments for Drew McIntyre to lose the belt and not win to lose and not be able to win the belt. So I'm gonna put CM Punk being the ref on Clash of Champions as my number 1. Hopefully it stays up there. All right, let's go back to again. Let's go back now back to 2025. This is WrestlePalooza, the first matchup between Drew and Cody Rhodes. This is the one where Drew McIntyre puts Cody Rhodes. He's the ring announcer table is right there, and then he sets him up, and I guess he's gonna do the Claymore on him, like something like that.
Yeah, he did it on SmackDown like that, and then this time he misses and he jams up his leg.
So he jams up his leg, and of course, once again, Cody Rhodes gets the pinfall on Drew McIntyre. Sir, talk to me. Where do you rank that one?
Oh, that's in my top 5 at 5.
The shitty one. Okay, so I'm gonna put Claiborne into announcer. No, I'm gonna put announcer table. That's how I'm gonna remember that one. Announcer table. I'm gonna put that as number 6. I thought that was the lackluster one. I don't think it was that good as I put the last Saturday night main event because of your theory that you want Cody Rhodes to eventually become a heel. All right. So we got that one out of the way.
This is supposed to be Drew moments. So to me, it didn't mean anything for Drew.
Well,
I mean, they just continued this angle where whatever, if he's out filming a movie or he's getting some off time, they've suspended him.
Okay. All right. He is, yes, apparently the word on the street is that he's going to go ahead and do a movie. All right. Let's go back in time. 2024 Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre fails to cash in his Money in the Bank, and it becomes a triple threat match, and then Punk attacks Drew McIntyre, where of course Drew McIntyre unfortunately fails to cash in Money in the Bank. And so if I'm not mistaken, it was Drew McIntyre. I think it was Seth freaking Rollins, and it was Damian Priest. And then all of a sudden he cashes it in, and then CM Punk comes in, interferes, and then obviously Damian Priest eventually gets the pinfall on Drew McIntyre. Sir, talk to me. Where do you see that one, or where would you rank that one?
4.
Okay. Money in the Bank as number 4. And you know what? I'm going to agree with you. I like that one in number 4. I don't think it was too big of a moment for him. It wasn't too bad of a moment.
It just
All right.
added sauce to him and CM Punk's feud.
It did. It definitely did. Okay, let's go back a little bit, even way more back to try to prove to you guys that Drew McIntyre just keeps losing. Back in 2021, this was the Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre, AJ, Kingston, this guy, what's his name? Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, Randy, Sheamus, Bobby Lashley comes and attacks Drew McIntyre. Now, again, this was the Elimination Chamber. Drew McIntyre wins. And then at the end, Bobby Lashley comes and attacks Drew McIntyre, beats the crap out of him. And then all of a sudden, you hear the sound of The Miz, who at that time had the Money in the Bank, come in and sneak in a victory. Now, keep in mind, this was when there was no fans in the arena. This was when they had the stupid TV sets, like
TVs,
the little TVs all
I was
around.
on a Raw. I was on a Raw episode.
Yes, I think you did mention that before.
Yeah,
You did mention that. So where would you put this one where The Miz cashes in on his Money in the Bank?
As CM Punk said, 2.
Okay, so we'll put Miz Money in the Bank. And I'm going to put that one also. I'm going to put it as number 3. So I'm going to put Miz Money in the Bank as number 3. All right, we got one last one, and of course we saved the last for the best for last. Of course, this is WrestleMania 40. This is the one where Drew McIntyre is going up against against Seth Rollins.
He beat Seth and
And CM Punk is a guest on
commentator.
On the announcement table, and Drew McIntyre is celebrating. He kisses his. Was that his wife? Yeah, his wife.
Yeah, his wife and his brother. His family was in the front row because that became part of the storyline. After they leave on X, they are complaining.
So if you guys remember, all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre, after celebrating with his wife and his family, he makes his way to the announcer's table, starts talking crap to CM Punk, and at that time CM Punk was injured. I guess he had like something on his arm.
That was the tricep, I think, from the Royal Rumble, the tricep injury.
Look at you remembering all this. Yeah, I mean, your memory is impeccable, sir. And then all of a sudden, to our surprise, CM Punk goes ahead and uses that mechanism. What would you call that? Brace? I guess that.
Yeah, it was a brace, and he actually first he like swipes McIntyre's leg and he falls on it, and then he starts wearing him out, and then
as he's wearing him out, all of a sudden you hear the Damian Priest song come out, as he is at that time the Money in the Bank winner. So he runs into the ring, cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase, and becomes the new heavyweight champion. Damian Priest becomes a champion, screwing once again 6 different times here Drew McIntyre. Sir, talk to me, man. Where do you see this one ranked?
Oh, this one's number 1 to me, because it then led us to all the other things that happened between him and Punk, which ended up leading to that Hell in a Cell match that was just brutal. So this one goes number 1. And also, all of it could have been avoided if Drew would have just kissed his wife, hugged his brother, and went to the back. Instead, he had to celebrate in front of Punk. And Punk said, "All right, biatch, I got you."
You know, what's crazy about it, you know, how invested we were in this CM Punk Drew feud, and they kind of just left it away, right? Like they haven't run it back, and you would be surprised that, like, even thinking now that Drew is suspended and he's on SmackDown, it would possibly even make sense if they wouldn't have suspended him, to actually bring him to Raw and add him to the War Games, right? Because he has that feud with CM Punk that we haven't
maybe
seen.
Maybe he does get thrown in there, and during SmackDown, maybe they do something to where.
Yeah, now that we're thinking about it, right?
Know. They might throw him in there just so they can be like, you know what? I can't control you, but I'm going to put you in the cage, and then everybody can just beat the crap out of you.
Look at that. So maybe there's a possibility that some way, somehow, they find a way to add Drew McIntyre. In my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and put this as my number 2. And I'm still going to go ahead and leave the CM Punk being the referee. Well, because, come on, man. I think what topped it all, because we knew Damian Priest had Money in the Bank, and we all kind of figured that Damian Priest was going to cash on it. But the act of surprise of CM Punk going in the ring.
Yeah, but it's an act of surprise, CM Punk. Nothing Drew McIntyre.
Of course, Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre is nothing. I mean,
of course it affected him. It threw him off. He wasn't expecting that. And then you had that perfect photograph of CM Punk going like this, and Drew McIntyre going like this. Like,
I get that, but again, to me, that didn't screw Drew McIntyre nearly as much as when he won the title and got screwed twice. Once by Miz and once by Priest. Like that, he had the title twice.
Well, that's why I feel that.
And lost them. To me, those are 1 and 2. Because this is about being screwed, Drew being screwed. Not great CM Punk poses. I know you're a Punk guy, so you got to get him in there number 1. I get it. That's fine. That's fine.
No. The reason I went ahead and put Punk and Drew McIntyre as Punk as the referee was because we already saw Drew McIntyre get screwed by Money in the Bank by The Miz. We already saw him get screwed by Damian Priest on Money in the Bank. What better way to switch it up, the act of surprise, than having a referee come and get involved, and of course being CM Punk screwing him over. I think that was just different, out of the ordinary, than just having him lose the belt through Money in the Bank, because we know eventually 9 out of 10 times if you have Money in the Bank, you're gonna cash in. So that was our list. I hope you enjoyed it, Sean. I definitely put in some work on that one to try to.
You did. I liked it. I like it.
So I hope you guys also enjoyed it. If you like Sean's list, put in a chat board. Sean has the better list. If you like Frankie's list, put it on a chat board. I believe on Frank's list.
I have a feeling you're going to get booted out of that a little quicker.
I think
just because you're Frankie. Not even, they probably don't even know what your list or my list was. It's just going to be like, all right, we'll go with this.
They had to listen to the beginning to understand the list.
Yeah.
Because if they only heard the like I see memos on the list and memos on the chat board. If Memo only heard half of it, of course.
There it is. There it is, Sean. Right as you.
But he
right
didn't
on
even.
time.
He
Right on
didn't.
time.
He didn't
I love
even
you,
listen.
Mel. Love you, buddy.
He didn't even listen to the whole list. He came like halfway, so he has no idea what the list was about. Oh my god! Oh Jesus Christ! Here comes Sean. More Sean's on the damn chat board.
Exactly what was going to happen on this one.
God damn it!
You had to open up the mouth, man. Let's move on, shall we?
Yes.
Priscilla Kelly went on a podcast, and if you don't know who she is, she was Gigi Dolan in NXT, and she says when she got bullied in WWE until her release. She wouldn't go into specifics, wouldn't go into names, said it didn't matter at this point now. She's just more worried about her mental health and everything like that. But she did say that, you know, there were times where it got a little bit, bully, if that's the right word, or however you want. She was kind of being bullied there.
Let me ask you this, because the reason and shout out to Denise Salcedo, because that's on her podcast.
Yeah, that's who it was, Denise Salcedo.
Sean, here's two questions for you. Number one, if you're not gonna reveal who bullied, who did these things to make you go to that extreme, why even talk about it? Why would you say that? Why would you go on record to say that?
The problem, I think, what happened is it probably came out, and then it was too late to put it back in.
You think so?
I haven't seen the whole interview. Like, I need to see how, because again, a good thing about a good interviewer, and most of Denise's stuff, she's pretty good at interviewing. She gets you to kind of relax and open up, and maybe you got too open up to where she let it slip out and was like, well, I can't take it back in, but I'm not going to get into specifics. You know, I mean, because I agree with you. You don't do it unless, you know, you're gonna name somebody. But I believe most of the time what happened is you start thinking you're kind of talking to a friend at the bar, and then you're like, oops, not supposed to say that. But I can't take it back because it's already out there. And so, you know, but again, it's one of those things to where the environment of the NXT has already been challenged once before.
Well, that's a good way to lead to my second question to you, sir. And before I ask you a second.
Oh, and by the way, go blue, right? Yes, go blue. Kentucky, my new second favorite team in college football, because they beat the Gators. I have a feeling I'm gonna have a lot of teams I love in college football. By the way, but
wait, hold on. Are you? I thought you were cheering for SMU because you said blue.
No.
So what ended up happening when it came to Gigi Dolan going ahead and revealing, I agree with you. Maybe she did make it like very comfortable for her to be able to open up, and that's a good way of looking at it. Here's my thing. Once you go and you open up your mouth, you know, if you want to lay everything out, if you're opening up to somebody, I think the best way to do it is just going ahead and just spewing everything out. Don't hold back. Like when I am saying when I'm revealing stuff to somebody who I feel trustworthy, or somebody, let's say if Sean is interviewing me and Sean asks me some deep questions here, and I start opening up, then you're gonna get the whole raw cut from Frankie. You're not gonna just get a little snippet and then all of a sudden I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I made a mistake. I should have never said that. No, you're gonna get the Frankie. I fuck it. I already said it. Oh well, now you're gonna hear it, because at the end of the day, that's who I am. Maybe Gigi Dolan is completely different, so I respect that. But when it comes to that, I felt like, it was kind of like, maybe you're right. Maybe she was in a comfort zone and she felt like she could reveal stuff like that and then say like, oh shit, I said too much. Or number two, she's trying to get some people to talk about her, because obviously she's no longer in WWE. I think she's traveling now to New Japan Wrestling, so I think she's going to Japan to go do some wrestling over there as well. So I feel like her saying these type of things also gives her a good publicity for people to talk about it, like us, right? We're talking about it. So, but my second question to you was, she revealed this on the NXT world. This is not the first time we're hearing this on the NXT side, that we're hearing people going ahead. I mean, Gigi also mentioned on this that she even contemplated suicide. Obviously, she also
Yeah,
mentioned
but
that
let
she had
me
past family problems.
yeah, let me read some of the just real quick, because she said, again, this is coming from Ringside News. It said, she sat down with Denise Aceto, feeling trapped, depressed, disconnected from herself during her time with the company being WWE, until she finally found her way back. Kelly explained that she went through a severe period of happiness where wrestling no longer felt fulfilling. Despite collecting a steady paycheck, she admitted she was miserable and just going through the motions. These are Priscilla Kelly's words now. I kind of went through this down period of, I hate my life. I'm collecting a paycheck. I'm just hoping someday I can get back to who I am and the performer that I am. And as soon as I started to feel like I was myself again, I tore my meniscus. And then she went on to say that her personal life was dealing with family problems, also added to her stress and sense of isolation. She goes back to state, in Kelly's words, I have a lot going on in my personal life on top of everything else. Both my parents have a lot of issues. My dad's been in prison for the last 4 years. He actually just got out this past weekend. I'm dealing with my little brother that is going through hell, and he's on his own. And my mom's got all kinds of issues. My dad's locked up. I have a lot of personal stuff going on. At the same time, Kelly said the pressure in WWE was suffocating, especially during her early years. Coming from the independent wrestling scene, she said the company tried to change who she was and strip away her individuality. Back to Kelly's words here. The pressure of WWE is a lot. There just was a lot of pressure those first 2 years because I was new and I came from the indies. There was a lot that they were trying to beat out of me. There was just stuff going on behind the scenes. She said the emotional toll became, these are the article's words, the emotional toll became too much. Kelly revealed that bullying from certain people in WWE left her suicidal for a period of time, though she chose not to name names. I don't want to bring it up because I know it'll blow up and then it'll become a whole thing. But let's just say some people were very, very, very not nice to me, to the point that I was suicidal for a little bit because I was really going through it. The article's words say, after hitting rock bottom, Kelly said things started to turn around in early 2023 when she began main eventing on the main roster, which was the NXT main they got called up. For the first time in years, she felt like herself again and rediscovered her passion for performing. In her words, once I got out of that, I would say the beginning of 2023, I started doing main events on the main roster and stuff. And that's when I really felt like, okay, this is who I am. This is the kind of wrestling I like to do.
She said a lot on that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you pointed out that she said there was that there was a lot of people that were not very, very nice to me, obviously to her. And she didn't want to go ahead and point out and say names, but Sean, here's my area of concern. Um this is supposed to be the developmental league for the WWE,
Mhm.
right? This is Shawn Michaels running the show. You've had very different instances where other wrestlers have been complaining about this type of, I guess you could say, attitude and behavior that's being done in NXT. Now, I don't know to what extreme. Obviously, there's a lot of people in the roster. Just a handful of them. There might be some people who might feel like, hey, there's nothing to be worried about. In my opinion, and I would love to get your opinion as well. I feel like this is a concern. I feel that NXT behind the scenes could be something not as pretty as they show it and picture it on the shows,
It's
or
only a
how
2-hour show. I mean, you're not going to get the behind the scenes. And look, I'm not going to say that it is that way, but here's the gist of NXT. You're always together. You're always there's it's not the main roster where you fly into a city, you wrestle, then you fly out and you guys don't see each other again for a week, or if you have live shows, maybe you travel a couple days. These individuals eat, sleep, train together. Some of them live together. Some of them live in apartments where all of the rooms are basically NXT because WWE, gets better pricing of them. So you're not getting away from a majority of it like you will when you get to the main roster. And that's what stood out to me, where it was, she's going through all this stuff. WWE wants you to wrestle their way. So if you're coming as an independent wrestler, you have to learn how to wrestle their way. And it's obvious that she had a style that wasn't what they wanted. So every day she was probably getting, I was there for 4 days and I watched this one guy just get pounded over and over. Redo.
wow.
Redo. Simple stuff, like just to the point to where by the 4th day he was like, I'm going home, guys. I'm not even coming in tomorrow.
Yeah, it broke him.
I can't do nothing right. And that's the thing though, is
that good?
I mean, you got to get a little bit tough though. You can't just, and again, I'm not saying that I don't know what that situation was, but for the situation I'm talking about, it was just, no, redo it. This is what we want you to do. Do what we want you to do.
Kind of like boot camp.
Yes, but that's what it is. Because when you come from doing independent, it is a totally different. Independent shows, you're wrestling for the 100, 200,000, whatever people you got out in the crowd. That's all you're wrestling for. When you go to WWE, you're wrestling for the red light. You're wrestling for the millions of people out there. Everything you're doing is for the camera. If the 27,000 people in the arena get to see it, great. But you're doing it for the TV and you're wrestling toward the cameras. And you're also, again, we watched it on Unreal. The producers are saying, okay, this is coming up next. This is next. This is next. Now, if you go out there and do whatever the hell you want to do, your camera angles are off. Everything is messed up. There's a reason that they go through and they hammer this home.
Okay, but when is it an extreme? Because this is not the first time we see a wrestler from NXT complain about this. This is
but
not
it's
the
also
first time.
like, I'm not there. I'm not saying that, I'm not going to sit there and say, but I don't know what was said to her. And when you look at everything else she's going through, it goes back to, you don't be mean to people because you don't know all the stuff going on with them.
Here's another
thing.
So
if you only seen her in training, and then training, they're just harping on everything like you can't do nothing right. Now she leaves and then she's dealing with all these issues with her dad, her mom, her brother. That compounds there. Now she comes back to training and then she gets hammered again. It's like, enough is enough. And again, I don't know that it's the fact that what it was before. Before, they got treated like dogs. They got treated like,
so they
whatever.
Were being treated worse before?
Yeah, they used to have them people were getting injured all the time.
Oh.
Because they were doing stupid stuff than just training. There was hazing and stuff going on.
Oh, wow.
But again,
but then let me ask you this.
Should
this be happening? Because you said earlier, these guys are living together. These guys are working together. They see each other day in and day out. They talk to each other. They hang out with each other. And you could tell that they've been able to establish some really good connections, because then you see these people actually some of them even falling in love. Carmelo Hayes and the girl who right now is the TNA champion, they got engaged a couple months ago. What was her name? I forgot her name.
Kalani Jordan.
Kalani Jordan. There you go. And then you also had obviously Luther Kaiser with Tiffany Stratton.
Mhm.
You had Stephanie Valquer. She also was with that one guy.
Riley
Osborne.
Osborne.
So you have all these things. This shouldn't be happening. You just finished mentioning that all these guys and gals
Yeah,
are
but she also
continuously hanging
said she
out.
felt isolated. So what's to say that? And again, I don't know the situation. So I'm not trying to like. I feel like I'm trying to be like you don't know what somebody else is going through. They might, to them, being like, oh, I'll say Gigi is very standoffish, but really she's going through so much shit that she's not trying to be standoffish. She's just trying to make it through the day. But then somebody else thinks, oh, she thinks she's better than us. Oh, she doesn't want to hang out with us. She just goes and sits in the corner and this and that. Because unfortunately, a lot of people, and sometimes probably me included, you don't think about other people. You're so busy worrying about what you're doing, you don't think about what's going on in somebody else's life or whatever. So when things are being said, and again, I don't know the whole situation.
Yeah, we
but
don't.
Maybe she isolated herself from people. And then it was just got to the point to where some people were like, or maybe they said stuff. I don't know. She didn't get into the whole thing. Like she didn't stay. She said, yes, some people were not very, very, very nice to her. But what is that? Did they call her names? Did they just ignore her?
Well,
did they like again, that's the thing that I don't know, because yes, the coaches are going to be hard on you. That I'm telling you now, I was only there for 4 days, but I could tell you when we were there, we were there for the 4 days, the group that was there at that time was TJ Kidd, Natalia, Sheamus was there. All these guys were still in what at the time it was FCW. It wasn't NXT yet. It was FCW. But this was like and they don't care, man. Like if you have a problem or like phobia speaking people, Dusty would have picked you at the time, may he rest in peace, cut me a promo 1 minute on John Cena. Go. That's how it went. And if you couldn't do it, then he just went right on. Like, okay, move along. Next guy. Like, and again, some people might look at that and be like, oh, they're mistreating these guys. No. They're trying to show you how it is. These guys and gals have been through what they're trying to train you to be. It's not a lavish lifestyle. It's a monotonous lifestyle to get to the point that John Cena got to the point that, Roman Reigns guys. Like, it's not all just, oh, here's $1 million. Go out there and perform in some Speedos for 20 minutes, on a 2-hour show. There's a lot behind that you have to do day in and day out. That when you're paid to train and become that, I'm sure it's a pain in the ass every day showing up to do, okay, lock up, okay, roll, okay, and you're doing the basics over and over. Okay, do a tackle drop down, leapfrog, hip toss, and make sure you end the segment on this red light. And if you don't get it right, run it again. You don't get it right, run it again. You don't get it right, run it again. You know what? You're useless. Get out of the ring. Next two in. Run it. Nope. Run it again. Run again. Nope. You guys are useless too. Get out. At what point? I don't know what was said, what was going on.
Well, let me ask you something here, because Karun did mention something here on the chat board that was interesting. He said a lot of nice things are bad behind the scenes. Yeah. Aren't Disney employees always depressed working in the theme park? And then he also wrote, curious to know if bullying comes from the male wrestlers or the female wrestlers. What would you guys guess? In my opinion, I think it'll probably be, I'm assuming, the trainers, because they're if Sean
I guarantee it was from the other female wrestlers.
Well, here's the thing. I pulled it up here. So Gigi Dolan is saying this. Cora Jade, following her release, she reportedly spoke about body shaming. So people were body shaming her as well. I don't know if the other girls there might be other girls that are body shaming her, but if there's somebody who thinks about the physique and thinks about the wrestler, it would assume, because remember what Gigi Dolan said. There's specific things that WWE wants you to do.
Yeah.
Your image, your everything is them.
Yeah.
So when you start listening to what these people are mentioning, it doesn't, for me, at least for my opinion, it doesn't look like it's the colleagues that are doing it, especially since you mentioned, and again, I'm just assuming there's no right or wrong answer here, but if you have a connection with other friends in the WWE, let's say you or me are in NXT, and I don't expect you, Sean, to be bad mouthing me. Now, could it eventually, or vice versa? Could it happen? Yes, if we have a falling out or something like that. But the people who are grinding you, putting you through, pushing you every single day in and day out to make sure you deliver for the show and you make it, is the trainers. So I'm assuming that the ones that are doing that, there's another person. Now, they didn't reveal who this was, but it says an anonymous female wrestler currently WWE spoke to News Nation in February 2024, stating she wished she could speak on certain issues but felt unable to do due to fear of professional repercussions. The wrestler noted a general sentiment that there were no positive outcomes for women who spoke out, and previous attempts were met with whispers or radio silence. So I'm getting this information, and I'm getting like this is something that tends to happen with the women, because I don't know if the guys are the ones running into this. Rachel Ellering. It was reported in May of 2020 that Rachel Ellering was released from WWE NXT after making complaints about the medical team. So this seems to be something internal of NXT instead of just the wrestlers. And
But
that
see,
is my concern.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other problem. That look, here's the one thing. When you're on the independent scene, you're an independent, right? You're working for yourself. You do what you want to do. You have your daily things, this and that. When you sign that WWE contract, you now work for them. They have a nutrition area. They have a medical department. They have a personal training department. They have a coaching staff, and they've got a team of pros that train you in the ring. And if they're putting money into you, there probably is an ROI on what they're expecting from you.
Yes, but they're putting money in you, or they're investing in you, but they don't own you, Sean. And that's
They don't
where
own you. But
that's
again,
where the line.
No. If you sign that contract, you have an understanding of what they expected. I show up to FCW and they put us in shadows of body types and take pictures to see what you fit into. You know what you're stepping into when you go into that program.
Damn,
but you're hoping you're going to be that one in 35 or 36 people that become John Cena, become Roman Reigns, become CM Punk, become those guys. That's what you're there to do. And I'm not saying that again, I don't know that situation, but there are expectations put on you.
Yeah, but that's extreme, dude.
But you're sitting here saying that that's happening. How do you know it's what is body shaming to you?
They're probably criticizing if you gain weight, if you don't want.
And why do you think that is? Because they have a nutrition staff that tells you this is what you need to be taking in.
And again, we don't know the extreme of the body shaming. I mean, you could
exactly,
for you and me, we could look
money for you to work out with Olympic style coaches. They're paying for your money for nutritionists. They're gonna expect a return on that.
Yes, but we're not here to go ahead and say, "Hey, Frankie, you went out there, you wrestled last week." You were at 150, and then all of a sudden, the next week or the next 2 weeks, I'm at 200 pounds. No, you don't gain that much weight like that, like crazy. Like, I feel like it's to the extreme. I feel like they're going that route because if you keep getting
the extreme, Pat Riley used to fine players if they didn't meet a weight. They paid a fine with the Miami Heat.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense to charge them a fine, but he's not body shaming them. He's charging them. He's hurting them in their pockets. Same thing you could have done.
What is considered body shaming? If you're taking money from me because you're calling me fat, I can consider that body shaming.
Yes, but it's hurting your pocket. It's hurting your pocket. When you sign your thing and you say, "Hey, look," on your contract it says, "Hey, I'm going ahead and I'm losing weight and I'm at this weight," and then all of a sudden you're overweight. Like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, I think, was one of them that would suffer of like overweight, right? And then what would happen is, he would go ahead and tell, or Shaq. Shaq was a good one as well from the Miami Heat. That you would go ahead and be like, "Hey, look, our expectation is that you weigh this amount. You're not doing it, so we're gonna fine you for it." They're not body shaming you. They're pointing out that this is what you signed for. There's a difference between bullying and there's a difference between going ahead and analyzing the person because they're not putting what they wrote.
What if Shaq would have came out and said, they're finding me money because they think I'm too fat? That's the way I see it in a podcast. So is the Miami Heat actually body shaming?
If it's written on the contract what he needs to be weighed in, no.
Okay, so how do you know what's written on their contract? Is what I'm saying.
We don't know. We don't know either.
Exactly. But I'm telling you, if a sport, the Dolphins, they have the cafeteria. They have certain things there. They have guidelines to, like a lineman weighs this much or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, so you go in understanding that you just can't go in there and balloon up and just lose all track of what you're supposed to be. You're still on a TV program. You're still there to do a job.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what was said. I don't know what was this and that. But I feel like some people might have a different understanding of what, look, if somebody comes up to me and says I'm fat, I'm going to laugh it off. But if somebody comes to somebody else and says they're fat, now what? Are they body shaming them?
I mean, look, it also depends to how much they go ahead and they insult you because it's easy. Somebody could tell you, "Hey, Sean, you're a fat guy, man. That's it." Or Frankie, "You're a fat guy, and that's it." There could be somebody else that be like, "Hey, man, Sean, you look blase, and making it seem even worse. So there's different levels to the way they communicate that with.
Let me ask you this. And this is where I'll leave it at this, and we'll move on to another subject.
Yeah, we're going at it.
I was told if you didn't have the 80s body, you would be offered a contract.
It's a dick fucking move by them. Whoever said that.
No, to me, I just look at it like, okay, I got to get better.
But you see how you see the difference of how we both took it? When
that's what I'm saying though, but that's my whole point.
Somebody tells you that.
What is the point of being like? Because to you, they bought it. To me, I was like, oh, okay. I've worked hard, but I haven't got to where I need to be.
Sean, they just finished insulting you by saying that you have an 80-year-old body.
No, I have an 80s body style.
Oh, 80s body style. 80s
like
body
Dusty.
style.
I was what they told me. They said you're more like Scott Norton. You're just a big guy. He said in the 80s, you probably have a job. But not in today's wrestling.
That's messed up.
And I was told the fat guy quota is filled.
But that's how they kind of like fucking whatchamacallit, they contradicted themselves. Because if they're criticizing you because they're saying, "Hey, you have an 80s body, but the fat man quote is filled." What the hell?
Yeah, because they could sign one guy with that physique and that quota was filled.
Come on, man.
So,
I again, if they were to say that to me, I would go ahead and tell them. If they mentioned, "Hey, the fat man quota is already filled," I would have said, "Well, you guys are contradicting yourselves. You want to go."
Why are you contradicting yourself? They're giving me criticism.
Again, it's not constructive criticism because they're contradicting.
How is it not? They are the ones that have been doing this. They're the ones that do this week in and week out.
Sean, you're a wrestler. You make it seem like they're the ones doing everything. You're doing your part. You're a wrestler too. You've been busting your ass, working it. Even if you're fucking 300, Yokozuna was a big fat guy, and I know it was in the 90s, but still, the guy could still wrestle. What? Who is there to go ahead and say, "Hey, you can't make it"? Solo Sikoa is not fun. It's not
their
skinny.
Product, brother. It's their product.
I understand that, but just because it's their product does not mean they gotta go ahead
It
and
does
pretty
mean
much
that.
laugh
It
in
is
your
their
face and tell you,
product.
hey, get out of here. No.
It is exactly what they want to be on there. They earned that right by
Yeah.
owning that company to tell you what you know.
That's the
and
problem.
if you don't want it,
Get the
then
fuck
don't
outta there.
sign the contract.
Of course, I agree with you 100%, but they're not even going to offer me the contract because the moment they say that shit to me, I'll go ahead in their face and be like, you know what? I don't even want to work for you guys because this is
Okay.
ridiculous.
All
This
right.
is you guys want to do this shit to me? Look at Gunter. Gunter was a big boy and he worked his ass off and he was great. And yes, he eventually lost the weight, but the guy, just because he didn't get the opportunity because when he was big, didn't mean he was a bad wrestler. He was well known and he busted his ass because he fucking did it day in and day out. And then he went ahead and got it, and WWE saw it, hired him, and then he himself made that decision. Hey, I want to get skinnier, I want to look better because I want to grow even more with the company. But I wasn't forced to do it. I did it. I chose to do it because at the end of the day, all those wrestlers, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't they subcontractors? They're a subcontractor, right? They don't own you. They hire you. They ask you to be a wrestler. So they don't own me. It's like when somebody comes and tells me, when an event company comes and hits me up and tells me, Frankie, I need you to do this event. I'm a subcontract to them. Okay, no problem. I'll go out there. Then when the subcontract's telling me, hey, Frankie, how did you go ahead and do this? Did you go ahead and do that? Did you do this? Did you do that? You need to tell me what this, that. Whoa. Slow down. Slow down, because at this point in time, you don't own me. This is a business transaction. You own your event company. Frankie Fresco, DJ, owns his event company, and we come to an agreement. That's why when you go ahead and you say, hey, if they sign on the dotted line, then 100% I agree with you. You signed it,
And they
you have
do
to roll
sign
by it.
on that line to go to the developmental league where they give them names and they give them gimmicks and what they need to do to get into said thing. Like, again, I'm not saying that she wasn't bullied, but sometimes if you look at everything that she went through, I think somebody didn't understand what she was going through. Because she said when she left from the meniscus tear and she returned, because she was away from everything, she was able to come back with that passion. And when she went to the main roster, she was able, because then she has freedom. Once you get to the main roster, you don't have to do the monotonous everyday training that they do at NXT. You are paid to train at NXT, to be molded into what WWE would like you to become. And if that's not the case, and many people have done it,
Don't sign
you
up.
just step out of the contract.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it's a contract. You don't own me, bro. That's just the way I look at it. You know, you don't own me. You hired me because you saw the potential. But if the contract says this or says that, then yeah, you're right. I can't argue with that. If the contract, whatever they sign, they have to go through it. I agree with you 100%. But just because I'm signing a contract, I mean, if I was them, if I'm a wrestler, and obviously with the experience, maybe Gigi Dolan did it when obviously she was very young. She probably didn't know. A lot of us make mistakes when we're very young. We don't read the contracts as detailed as we should. But as you get older, you get wiser. You obviously notice life is not easy, and you also notice that not everything is pretty, right? A lot of stuff, just like what Karun has said, behind the scenes, it could get ugly. So,
well, also another thing too is, and again, this is just going off my own experience there. There was a group of us that they thought had abilities, and there was other ones that didn't. They were just there to be there, and this and that. So they scrutinized us more than the others.
yeah.
And I wasn't upset about that, because I was being trained and understanding, even when I was trained before, I understood, the ones that did it, they had been enhancement talent for a lot of the WWE TV and things. So they understood how it worked. So again, you scrutinize little things, attention to detail to me. That's what a lot of what is kind of missing today. But to me, I took it with a grain of salt of, okay, I'm just going to get better, but I could also see how if I'm there day in and day out and that is being thrown onto me, and I got the outside world coming down on me too,
It could be overwhelming.
it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Especially if, and Gigi Dolan did get sent up to the main roster. So obviously somebody saw the talent in her. So I can also think maybe, and again, the coaches aren't asking you, hey, how's your outside life. They're trying to get you up there for the in-ring. So I think it might be a whole mixture of things. Again, it could have been coaches. It could have been other talent. It could have been a mixture of things. And then you throw everything on top of it, and it could be a very combustible element.
Well, I know we've gone a little bit too long on this topic, but let me ask you one last thing before we go. You did mention earlier, and I'm going to bring it back, is that you said that there's a kind of like a camaraderie between them, the wrestlers and I guess the staff and all that stuff. Wouldn't it make sense for NXT, especially since you're hearing this from multiple ex wrestlers that are leaving NXT, that they're running into situations? And of course, keep in mind, we're not just working machines, we're actually human beings, right? We need to actually go ahead and also understand that there's some days that you're going to have a rough night, and there's going to be some days that everything goes perfect, right? Wouldn't it make sense for NXT to have like, a group or like some type of counseling, something that if you see somebody off, and again, I don't know if the trainers might be doing this, they might not, but put you to the side and be like, yo, like Gigi Dolan today, dude, what's up? Are you okay? Like, I see you're off, dude. Like, when somebody's off. I mean, look at the beginning of the stream. Look, I don't even have to be the one. You didn't even point it out. It was Josh, Frankie, you look kind of down, right? You saw that just from the top of it, and then I explained the reason why, and then you see how I'm like more. Usually, like when I get into the topics, I usually get a little bit more crazy, more involved, and more into it. But you see how you could tell from the person if there's something wrong with them. Why wouldn't the NXT try to do that, or why wouldn't the trainers try to do that? And again, I'm not saying that they don't. It could be the
other way around too. It could be like high school, and you got your cliques.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning you got your cliques of people that hang out, like in high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like a little group here and a group there.
You
got
a group here, a group there, a group there, a group here. And then maybe this one from this group hangs out with the one from that group. Like it could be that way around too. And then also, here's the other thing too. And again, I'm only going off what I read from the article you sent me from the Denise Salcedo interview.
Yeah.
And thinking of like, and again, this is back in the older days of wrestling. I'm not going to somebody to tell them that I'm having issues. And I'm wondering if some of that might be, the machismo, the whatever you want to talk about for the women. Like you don't want to go there and look like the soft one. So again, she might have just sucked it up and every day came in with a smile on her face. And again, she isolated herself. So maybe there wasn't that many people that, she could do what, and nobody really thought anything of it. Although I agree with you, you should probably notice something here and there, even if it's, just like when players, when they're injured, you're like, dude, you're not okay. You're limping very badly.
Yeah, of course.
This and, but they're not one out of the game, but you're like, no, you need to go out. I'm wondering if some of that also might have played into, and again, not putting the blame on the coaches, the other wrestlers, or even, and of course not on Priscilla, because everything is how you see it and how you feel it. But I'm wondering if, if some of that played a role into it, because you don't want to be that person that, like when she went to work, I got to put a smile on my face. I got to be there to do my job. And she went about her business and just, again, I don't know.
Some people just suck it up. Some people just suck it up and be like, yo, I don't want anybody to know my business. But it affects them in their performance, right? And then there's the other route that some people do want to go ahead and be able to speak to somebody about it eventually, because you got this all clogged up in you, and all of a sudden you're like, shit. Yeah. I need to talk to somebody, bro. I'm gonna blow up, and to the point where, look what she said. She was thinking about committing suicide and shit. So it's like I feel, and again, we don't know the extreme. I'm not criticizing NXT for it. I'm just saying, I'm just curious to see if they do have that in place, if they actually do have something for where wrestlers who are maybe not themselves or going through some things and you're seeing signs of it, because you can't be blind to the eye. I understand you're there to work. I get it, but we're all human beings too. Come on, man. We all, we all gotta care about each other, right? You're not gonna be a dick and just be like, "Yo, this guy's like acting like shit," and just be like, "Ah, screw it, he just sucks." No, you're gonna be like, "Yo, this guy's typically a good guy. Why the hell or a good girl? Why are they acting that way?" So I just
All
hope
right.
that
So
NXT.
I looked up. It said yes. WWE and NXT offer mental health resources and counseling
Okay.
services to all talent as part of their comprehensive benefits and overall WWE assistance. They said on site, the WWE Performance Center, NXT trained talent offers on site medical care, full time athletic trainers, physical therapists, forming a holistic approach to athlete well being that includes physical and mental health aspects.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, they have it in place. I hope they're using it's effective because obviously you start seeing some of these ex wrestlers talk about it, and maybe I don't know. There's only a handful, right? It's not even a lot of them, right? But they have it in
No,
place
but the fact
supposedly.
if it's one though, again, you should be taking note and being like, okay, are we still nothing sliding through the crack? You should still come out and be like, hey, are we letting anything slide through? Are we
Yeah.
doing, to me, if you're really caring about, the people, the
Yeah.
individuals,
Yeah, of course.
you would be like, okay, this came out. What is the situation? Because again, if you remember, Mickey James was let go, her last contract, and they sent all her stuff to her in a garbage bag. And then she went online and was like, hey, this is what I got. And then the talent guy, the VP of talent or whatever at the time, was let go. But then it came out that was part of the product. Like they would just do that all the time. She's like, that wasn't the first one I got.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying? But again, at the time they were private.
Yeah.
When they go public, now that becomes a thing.
Yeah.
So a lot has changed due to that as well. But again, it's one of those things to where you just treat freaking people like you want to be treated, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Karun says, not sure how helpful a counselor is. Kane is their mental health therapist.
Oh, geez. He went back to a skit that they used to do with Kane. Kane and
Oh, we're back.
what was it? It's Kane and Daniel Bryan, right? When they were doing Hell Yes.
Yes,
They
yes,
had to visit each other to become teammates.
yes. I remember that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the last one. Do we got or we
Yeah.
got we got the last one.
Yep.
That and
For
of
some
course-
reason, I thought it was a pay-per-view this weekend, but it's not. It's the 22nd.
So we have here some controversy, and it's on the AEW side, right?
Oh,
So-
there's no controversy. It's pretty funny.
Well, I don't know if it's pretty funny, but all right, correct me if I'm pronouncing these names correctly, okay? Because I might be I'm terrible with
So wait a minute,
pronunciation.
you want me to correct you if you pronounce them correctly?
No, I want you to correct me if I pronounce them incorrectly. All right, Nixon Noel and Miranda Elise.
I believe that is correct, yeah.
All right,
And you know who Nixon Noel is, right?
wasn't she an ex?
That's Tegan Knox.
Oh shit. Okay. I forgot about that. Hold on. I got to look at her face because I'm very good with faces. I got to look at her again. But anyways, so what happened here is that these two young ladies were supposed to go ahead and wrestle on Collision against, I believe it was Tay Conti and
Anna Jay.
Anna Jay. Fine ass Anna Jay. I would wrestle and let her whoop my ass every single night. I don't give a damn. And apparently, an hour before the show, they just walked the hell out. They walked out because they were not happy that they were gonna lose. Now, I did do a little bit more research, and I'm hearing that not only were they supposed to lose, but the match was only gonna last about 3 minutes. So it was gonna be an in and out, kind of like back in the old school. Remember when there was
Enhancement talent.
enhancement talent? So they felt disrespected and they said, go screw yourself. I'm not going to go ahead and do your show. And they walked the hell out. So, number one, Sean, did they do the right thing or did they do the wrong thing? And my second question is, how is this going to affect their careers?
Listen, I can't say they did the right thing or the wrong thing because they're the ones that have to end up with whatever repercussions they get. I would not have done the same thing. I do understand kind of where they're coming from. They did a spot with AEW the week before, and they lost to Megan Bayne, and apparently they were hard to work with because Megan Bayne was getting most of the match and this and that. Then they showed up to Dynamite. They weren't used. Then they showed up to Collision, and they were told, hey, you get 3 minutes with Anna Jay and them. So, again, if you think you're going to be hired, maybe it kind of hit them in the face that they're probably not going to hire us if they're giving us this. So, but I still think you should be professional, especially when and this is the thing where I believe the precedent that Naomi and Sasha Banks, when they walked out, and both of them have become, they were both very
successful.
Great job and this and that, and they both gone on to recover and great careers, but they're not Sasha Banks and Naomi. And I think you should have went out there. You should have been professional. You should have done everything in your powers to make them do your job, make them look the greatest, and then, then go back and say your piece a little bit. Like, I appreciate the opportunity, but I would like to get, more or whatever it is. Sit down and hash it out that way. Don't just walk out. You're not at that elevation to me. And again, maybe I'm totally wrong. I'm going off of what I've read and everybody else talking about it.
Yeah.
But 3 minutes of TV time is 3 minutes of TV time. Make the best of it. I mean, there's some women and men that were on AEW during COVID that are making more money now in the indies just because they were on AEW and are able to call themselves AEW stars. Now they're traveling the indies again, not being used by AEW, but they're able to use that as a stepping stone to get more money. And I know Tegan Knox, what's her name now? What is going on with Nixon Noel?
Yeah,
she was not getting bookings, and somebody in AEW, I guess, put in the word for her to get her there. So, like, again, you burn your bridges, man. Like, there's not that many bridges.
All right,
there's not that many bridges now, especially with WWE's partnership with TNA, and now you burned AEW, who's got a partnership with NJPW, with CMLL. You've got WWE with AAA. Like, there's not a lot of places to work if you want to make a decent living. Like, if you want to travel the indies, but I don't think they've made a big enough name to where they can make money on the indies to have,
Okay, so now let me tell you what happened here, because Dustin Rhodes took it on Twitter to go ahead and talk about this, and this is what he said. He said, when you get an opportunity, and this is off of Ringside News, obviously. When you get an opportunity to perform on television, you say yes. You do exactly what the company wants with a great attitude. Otherwise, good luck in your future endeavors. Now, this is what apparently Nixon Noel did. Nixon Noel said publicly she denied being disrespectful. She explained that she and Miranda Elise made the decision after a calm discussion with AEW staff. That kind of goes different in my opinion, because I didn't know about this. I thought, just like you I'm assuming, or like what we thought, was that they just walked out because they felt like they were getting cheated. Now, if they had a conversation with staff, Sean, that's a different.
It doesn't change anything, because
of course it does.
No, you're still saying I don't like the way you're booking me. I don't like what you're doing creatively. I'm not going to do what you're not setting a good precedent for yourself. You're not a superstar.
Hold on. Let me say. Like, let me quote what she said. She said, "We decided," and this is Nixon Noel.
Yeah.
We decided as a couple, as wrestlers independently, that 3 minutes isn't going to make anyone look good. As wrestlers, we want everyone to look good. We were polite. We were respectful. We said, hey, I don't think 3 minutes is going to benefit us. Not just us, but everyone in the tag team.
Yep. And then two young aspiring stars took that booking. And now guess what? They're getting booked elsewhere to this next weekend because they were on TV on AEW Collision in 3 minutes and got their ass whooped for the whole time.
All right, this is where we kind of go back to what we're talking about with the NXT situation. Where is the level of your, like, where do you take a stand, right? Are you a yes person?
That tells me you're an egotistical person as far as, I can't get beat in 3 minutes on TV because somebody's going to see it. It's pro wrestling.
Egotistical person.
Yes.
What did you just say happened the week before?
They got, but again.
So how are they egotistical? They got their asses kicked.
If you didn't like it the week before, what's going to change this week? What, you're going to show up and they're going to give you 20 minutes?
At least they would have given you maybe 20 minutes.
No, man, come on. That don't work that way. If you don't have a contract, if Tony Khan hasn't talked to you and been like, I love what you're doing in this and that, what makes you think anybody in AEW is going to have you come in and do a 5-10 minute match? For what? What have you given to us?
So it's all about them and not about the wrestler then.
Their job was to make Anna Jay and Ty Conte look like a formidable tag team so they can continue on in this tag team tournament.
In 3 minutes.
That was what their job was to do.
In 3 minutes.
Yes.
That's a slap in the face. You just got your asses kicked the week before. A slap in
the face to who? Who are they? They're not Roman Reigns.
They're independent wrestlers.
Daniel Bryan got pinned in 7 seconds at a WrestleMania.
That's WrestleMania. This is Collision, where you don't even have 200 viewers.
Though. 7 seconds. He didn't even get 3 minutes.
Yeah, but Daniel Bryan wasn't up and coming. He was already well known.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. When you're up and coming, or you just got let go from your other job and you're trying to catch on somewhere, you do what they ask you to do.
They did. They did it the week before.
Okay, and then they showed up this week and they asked them to do it again.
That's messed up, dude. Give them a little bit of credit. They came and did it the first time. If they didn't do it the second time, and
what the hell is this, school? Give them a little credit. I mean, just give them something. What the? Come on, man.
Well, then you know something. If they got their asses kicked, the first time around, and then all of a sudden you come in the second time and you feel like they're gonna get their asses kicked again. But then not only are you getting your ass kicked again, but you're also getting your ass kicked with even less time on TV. So you're not doing anything. You're not accomplishing. All you're doing is you're getting your ass kicked. It's not gonna help you in the long run. It helped those two other girls probably because those two other girls probably were even lower than them.
Listen, it doesn't help you in that match, but it helps you backstage. It helps you with Tony Khan. It helps you with the AEW producers.
Really? Because the way Tony Khan sometimes treats his wrestlers is the right way.
Okay, but again, you're getting 3 minutes of their TV time. Where are you going to get TV time at? You just got let go from NXT.
True.
Where are you going? Miranda Lee's I haven't seen on any big time programs. I'm sorry if I don't know, but now all of a sudden I'm gonna go to AEW and say I deserve 5 minutes. For what? Because you put over Megan Bain?
It's not demanding. It's not demanding. It's just expressing what they feel.
Okay, and then if they're told no, then shouldn't they do the job?
Then they respectfully
that they were brought in to do.
They respectfully declined and moved.
I get that she wrote that. I have not seen any stories that said that they respectfully turned down anything.
They denied being disrespectful. That's what she said. Now, if they were disrespectful, I agree with you 100%. But if she was respectful and said, you know something? We don't see eye to eye. Unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and pass. It's like me. When somebody comes and hires me to be their DJ and they go and they offer me this amount and then they come with something completely different to me, I'm going to go ahead as an independent contractor, because that's what they are. They're independent wrestlers, and say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go ahead and take the gig. I have to, even if that costs me 20,000 gigs, even if it costs me to become the next fucking, I don't know, Jazzy Jeff or something. I don't care. It's my principles. I don't feel like that's what my value is worth. And yes, I am not no freaking Avicii. I'm no freaking, I don't know, Martin Garrix, DJ Khaled. I'm not none of those guys. but there has to be a standard that you have to hold yourself accountable for. If not, people are gonna just walk over you, just like they're walking over people over there in NXT and bullying them and all that crap over there. Obviously, just joking, but what you get what I'm saying. There has to be a little bit of like self-respect for yourself. You gotta go ahead and tell them. I have no ill will with those two girls telling AEW, hey man, I'm sorry, man. If this is what you guys want from us, we're not gonna be able to deliver. Because not only that, not only are we gonna feel uncomfortable, but by the time we go out to that ring, we're probably not gonna be able to sell it because I'm not feeling it. I'm not gonna be able to perform to my level, even though I'm getting 3 minutes of TV time. I'm not feeling it. You don't know how many gigs, Sean, I've gotten where they've been big and they're a piece of shit. Like they're paying like nickel and diming me. Some people have gone ahead and said, Frankie, we could give you this gig and but you're not gonna get paid for it. Hold on, you don't want to pay me, but the rest of the vendors, everybody else who's working in this event is getting paid, but you don't want to pay me? Explain that to me. How does that make any sense for me as an independent contractor? So I understand their side. Is it the right thing for them to do? Will that cost their careers in the long run? Possibly. Possibly. Are they to the level of a Naomi or Sasha Banks? Absolutely not. But you got to take a stand, my friend. With the people. Take a stand, baby. Take a stand.
Yeah, they're going to take a stand because Nixon Noel will not. Here's another thing and this is from Fightful. This is kind of going through what Fightful said. They said negotiations with one independent promotion falling apart over certain asks from the wrong button, damn it. From the Welsh wrestler. Another promoter claimed, that was from Newell. They shot down these saying they're utter bullshit. But then they also said another promoter claimed Newell walked out of a show after agreeing to a surprise appearance in spots, which created a bad situation for the company and her planned tag partner. Newell says she has no idea what those stories are about.
Can we believe that? Is that true?
And then there was a meeting with Daniel Bryan where he said he was disappointed that they decided not to take the thing. They're saying that never happened.
Is there anything out there that says that they were disrespectful when they turned down the gig? When they turned down the match? No. There's nothing out there. Now, if they're disrespectful and all that stuff, then 100%, man, screw you. So sad. Too bad. But they just didn't agree with it, man. And it's okay. It's okay. You're not a Sasha Banks. You're not a Naomi, but you have some self-respect. Sometimes self-respect goes a long way. Not everybody wants to be rich. Not everybody wants to be a wrestler for AEW. Not everybody wants to be a wrestler for WWE, you know. So you probably could get something somewhere else and become big and do it on your own. So it's if one door closes, that doesn't mean every single door closes. That means another one opens. So that's the way I look at it. And
I mean, look,
I appreciate
if you don't want the TV time and the opportunity, then you can turn it down. But
that's what they did.
But again, this is all I will say about this.
Okay.
Somebody took what they did differently than what they believe they did.
100%.
Because that doesn't get out by just Sean Ross Sapp saying, hey, let me make this story up and hurt Nixon Noel and somebody said that. And the fact that, you know, they spoke to a couple people in the women's division on AEW and RH that said, I wish I got 3 minutes on TV.
Yeah, but they're going to say that. And those girls work for AEW. Plus, again, like I gave you the example, I didn't pick up those gigs. Somebody else did. And maybe they got something out of it. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I have no idea. But they're not going to go ahead and badmouth it because they are looking at it as like, hey, maybe this will open up another door. While Frankie Fresco said, nah, man.
But, I mean, the opportunity is what you take with it, man. I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying. But my problem to that is this.
Adrian, AEW sucks.
Yeah. Well, no, but my problem is this, man. And this is the problem that I have with a lot of kind of, and again, old guy, get off my lawn. I would have died to get 1 minute of squash time on TV.
Sean,
to go and be in. Look, I got 15 minutes wrestling the Warlord at a fair, and it was my WrestleMania, buddy. And then I went to a Comic-Con. I went to a Comic-Con and I got to wrestle Kevin Sullivan, and it was my WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I would have loved to have gotten whatever, throw me around, whatever. Because the problem is, again, when you're brought in those situations, again, you're not under contract. You're being brought in as enhancement talent to get the other wrestlers over. Unless you're being brought in under a deal where, hey, before the show starts, we're going to try you out, see what we like, this and that. This happens all the time. They'll bring in wrestlers. They run them around the ring before the doors open, see who they like. That's kind of how they pick the enhancement talent. Okay, that guy will match up good with that guy. That guy can go with that guy because they want to see what your skill levels are and things like that. But they're also testing you to see how you do. And then sometimes they'll set you up. They'll tell you have a match. You're going to be on main event. And then right when you're in the about to walk out, no, you're going back. No, match called off. You guys are cut. We need time. We need time for this, time for that, because they want to see what your reaction is. How do you handle it? Are you going to be somebody that we can believe in and trust in to where if we got, I mean, hell, I remember those, when you watch the Unreal, they're talking about right before WrestleMania, they got cut because the damn people talked too long before them. They're about to go out for WrestleMania and got cut. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I think you need to take those opportunities. And I get what you're saying. Like if you don't believe in it or whatever.
No, but I get your point. And just like Adrian said, that's fair what you're saying, Sean. But there's also another side to it too, man. Like you could always be a yes person. And you could always go ahead and be like, hey, I shot my shot. And it doesn't work out either. So that's why you got to kind of have to know and go with your gut instinct and kind of pick and choose when I should.
Yeah, but then somebody must have said something to them.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning they must have got the idea or the rub that they weren't going to be signed. So then when they were told they're only getting 3 minutes, they're like, oh, they're just trying to take advantage of us. Let's go have a respect talk because we're not going to get signed. So this isn't going to be the opportunity I want to take. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of because other than that, you're taking that opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Or they sat down together and they said, hey, man, like they gave us a match the first time, got our asses kicked. At least we had like about maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And now we got to get our asses kicked again. But now they're cutting us even more short. Like, what are we doing here? We're like, what are we doing? Like, is this worth it? I just
think 2 times is way too quick to pull, especially on that situation. Like, look, if you go up to WWE and they do that to you, you're not doing anything. But
I wouldn't be surprised if they got that offer to get their asses kicked for 3 minutes in WWE. I'm pretty sure they would have done it because again, you also got to understand that they did it on Collision. Nobody watches Collision, to be honest.
Yeah, but again, it's you're still on TV.
Yeah,
you still have that tape. You still have that film. You still can show what you can do. For 3 minutes, think about this. For 3 minutes, you made Ty Conte and Anna Jay look like superstars,
which they already are, though.
Oh, I don't know about that, but okay.
In the AEW, they're superstars in AEW.
Yeah, but then again, why are you having issues losing? It's again coming from what I went through for 14, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, you go through, man, dude, just seeing what we had one guy when he trained. He took the city bus for an hour and a half just to get to shows, to have an opportunity to be in battle royals. Not even matches, battle royals.
Did he ever make it?
No. I mean, he was a good hand, but he was never going to make it there. But they gave him the opportunity in squash matches and in battle royals. He was there, and that's what they did with him.
But did he ever make it? He didn't. So it was his choice of him doing that. So he did it, and maybe that was his WrestleMania. Maybe
but
that
that's
was.
what I'm saying though. He was never going to be like he would never had the he was 125 pounds. Like he was not going to be that guy that's going to get a contract or anything. But he knew his opportunities were there, and he took them. He drove an hour and a half on to get there, just to lose. He lost money. He didn't make money. He didn't get
Come on.
paid, nothing.
That Sean, for me, that's like too extreme, bro. Like you have to be smart about certain things, man. You can't just. And I know you're up and coming, and you have dreams, and you have aspirations and all that stuff. But seriously, like you know you're not gonna make it. You not freak. You're losing money going there, and you're still gonna do it. Like I gotta understand if you
Well,
did it maybe once
again,
or twice, but then you kept going.
that is the
Makes no logical sense. Sorry.
maybe not to you, but to him it did, bro. That's what I'm saying though. Is like I mean, look at what John Cena did, man. Those guys that used to live out of their cars because they couldn't afford to own a home or anything else. That's how they drove town to town in their cars, man. Like I get it nowadays when they make millions of dollars, but it wasn't always a $1 billion dollar industry, bro.
When I was young, and I used to work for a car rental company, I'll never forget. I was a manager in training. You probably know people know what I'm talking about when I say manager in training. And I'll never forget my branch manager was there, and he was getting ripped by my area manager. My area manager was telling him a whole bunch of stuff. Then there was the RVP. The RVP comes into the office, goes there with the area manager. The area manager starts telling stuff to the branch manager, and the branch manager starts yelling back. And the RVP goes to the branch manager and tells the branch manager, "You're not gonna win this fight. You gotta learn how to pick your battles." And that's exactly what I took from there. You're not always gonna win. You gotta be able to take the opportunity, but only when the opportunity is right and it makes sense. If you go ahead and you take opportunity just for the fuck of it, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be blunt. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but you're not getting anything out of it, bro.
Yes, but here's the thing I would say. Depending on what you're doing, there's very few opportunities that you're presented.
Yeah, Sean, but that, you're right. But that's also destiny. If you're meant to get to that level, if you're meant to become the next wrestler, the next John Cena, you're gonna get there.
Yeah, but that goes for everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And if you're not,
but
and
sometimes you can help yourself if you
Of
jump at
course.
an opportunity.
but if you
But
pick
you don't
the
know
right
what that
opportunity,
opportunity or when that opportunity is going to present itself. So again, it's both ways. I get what you're saying.
yeah,
It's like what I say about the value. Value is what somebody will pay for it. I might look at something and be like, that's no value there. But somebody's gonna look at it and be like, that's $1 billion. Well, if you want to pay $1 billion, that's the value of it. I'm not gonna do it.
when you
That's the same thing with opportunities. I might not see it as an opportunity, but I've been around wrestling long enough to know. And again, this is the other part about this. Nixon Noel says she's pretty much going to be done with wrestling. So if you already have that mentality, of course I'm not going to do 3 minutes. I should be doing more. Like it's already in her head that like I'm not going to be doing this much longer. So it's easier to her. It's not these, think about it. Red Velvet back in the day. She used to get beat by Jade Cargill and like what? And then she escalated up the card and got more time. And then she's got herself over because she got that one opportunity, 26 seconds with Jade Cargill and other stuff. And then she started getting other things and built herself up.
But she saw again, what I mentioned. She saw an opportunity and a smart opportunity. She took it. Because if the example you gave me of the guy going and losing money and kept going and doing that battle royale, I mean, no disrespect to him, that was not the brightest thing to do. I mean, if it was his passion, he loved it. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
If that's what he loves, I get it. But was it the brightest? No. I'm just being real. I'm just keeping it real. It's like me. Like I mean, I've turned down gigs. Sometimes it's cost me. When you went ahead and you told me, Frankie, I want you to come and do the show, the Squared Circle Digest with me. What did I do? Did I go ahead and shrug it off and be like, nah, it's not gonna work out?
I mean, you
I
did
mean,
send me over a contract, and I've had to talk to 3 lawyers so far.
well,
I
because
mean,
I feel
it's been no like breeze here for me. Okay.
I sent you a contract with a specific wording in
Yeah.
it because I don't want you to go
I know.
ahead later down the road and own me
Did
like
you get all the
NXT likes to
Skittles I
own.
sent you? Only green Skittles and blue M&Ms. I'm like, what is going on here?
Because then all of a sudden, Sean is gonna be. I mean, he'll body shame me. He'll criticize my head because I have no hair. I'm bald. He'll do all these things. So I had to read
Yeah.
the contract perfectly and set it up perfectly.
That's
That way,
right. I'm gonna make fun of you for being bald. You're right. You cover your head with a hat. You don't even take the opportunity to show your bald head.
I do show my bald head, right? You see, you can see it. It's right there.
Yeah. Frankie wanted $1 million, but Frankie didn't get $1 million.
Why would I want $1 million when I get to see this face right here, right above me,
Oh boy.
every Tuesday or Wednesday now? I don't know what days we're doing, but I
Oh,
get to
boy.
see every week. I get to see you every week, Sean. Look, I even hung you over right here. Look
Yeah,
at you.
yeah, yeah.
That's how
see
much
it.
I
see
miss
it.
you.
Yeah,
That's how much I miss you, bro.
My memorial tribute photo. All right, my man. Let them know where they can see you, man.
All right, guys. So you could definitely follow me at Frankie Fresco. All this time I didn't know that I put Fresco twice. Oh my god, I'm so like
Oh, I thought you did on purpose. I thought you were trying to fresco it up.
so off today.
Frankie 2-time fresco.
But yeah, you can follow me at Frankie Fresco. Follow my channel. Adrian doesn't like to sponsor my channel, so I have to sponsor my own channel, Frankie Fresco.
Take the opportunity while it's here, buddy. Take it.
Frankie Fresco. Don't forget to follow it. Don't forget to hit the like. Obviously, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, X, Facebook. You could also catch my mix show, the Cameo Mix Show. I am cutting it back down. I'm only doing it twice a week now. So you could catch it on IGR Miami, or you could catch it on my Mixcloud. Again, Frankie Fresco or Fresco Music. And then, of course, last but not least, guys, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and follow. We are trying to do our best to get Sean Stanley to get how many followers? How many do we need?
I need to get the 2K to walk a 5K.
So we need 2K for Sean to run. No, we're gonna make him walk a 5K, and yeah, man. So please don't forget to support us. Don't forget to repost, guys, the show for us, and on especially on X. If you see it, hit that repost for us. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, Finn, Sammy, and thank you, sir. Now, also, happy Veterans Day to every veteran that is out there. You can check me out at my new X handle, Sean Stanley _ST for Sports Talk. You can check me out at Stanley Media House on YouTube. And now, a couple changes. The Squared Circle Digest will be Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Due to my other obligations, I've had to change it again. I apologize. I apologize profusely to Frankie, but I gave him an opportunity
Gave me a
to
contract.
be on the show. So
He forced me to sign the contract.
yeah.
Work at
Forced him to sign
8
a contract
on Tuesday.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. He's going to be on there. Adrian, appreciate you. Also, the racing we cut back. We're going to do once a month, November, December, January, and then we'll pick back up in February when the races kick back over, because there's absolutely not a lot happening other than the court case, which is very not a lot going on right now in it. But if it does break, we will jump on, myself and Spencer, and that, of course, will be Mondays at 7 when it go on. And my new expenditure I'm doing.
I heard about it. I saw it. They spoke about a whole hour on the Canes. They threw me out. I changed the channel.
South Florida Sports Unfiltered. Myself and the great Adrian from Rainy Day Pod. You can check that out Fridays at 7. We will be doing some sports talk, and we get to talk about the Dolphins win this week, and the Heat are looking pretty good. So we got a lot of good things to be talking about. So make sure to sign up at Stanley Media House Network. Check out the Rainy Day Podcast. Check out Frankie Fresco. Check out Finn's TV. Check out everybody else that is on this crazy podcast stream that we've got going. And we made a pretty damn good little network here between us, Adrian, Finn, Sammy. Also, Talking Game. Don't forget about that one with Anthony.
Tony.
Yeah, Tony and Talking Game. Don't forget about that one as well. So we got a good little network going here and everything
No
else
yeet.
that they're doing. So go check out all of them and like, subscribe, follow what they're doing. We got shows on at the same times, but we'll still go support him after. I'm about to go tune into Finn's TV here in a few minutes, see what they talked about on there with the great Will Manso. Frankie, as always, sir, I appreciate 3 minutes of your time.
Sir, if you guys ever need a guest on the sports talk, let me know. If I'm not busy, I'll definitely go there, and I will.
Yeah, I'll call you to get your brother on, definitely.
And I will vouch. Listen to me, vouch for the Miami Dolphins to hire Dabo as their next head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, that's exactly what I don't want on my show. So, yeah, I'll talk to you about the opportunity I'll give you to talk about Dable as head coach. I might like him as an offensive coordinator, but I don't know about a head coach.
No. Head coach. Then I'm calling it here on the Wrestling Podcast. The Miami Dolphins need to hire Brian Dable as their next head coach. The Giants didn't know how to use him. The Dolphins will.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, that doesn't even sound right.
No
What happened to the?
Tony met Kevin Owens today. Shout out to
That's what
Kevin
it
Owens.
says.
Shout out to Kevin Owens for meeting
So
Tony.
so Tony meets KO. So is that TKO?
Ah,
I'll be
Finally
here all week.
joining
I'll be
the
here
dark
all week. Make sure you check me out on X at Sean Stanley _ST Stanley Media House everywhere else. Check out Frankie Fresco at Fresco Music and Frankie Fresco on YouTube. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine state.
The Square Circle Digest!